How we doing? How we doing? So I got an interesting totem to work on tonight. I'm going to be making. Where the hell's my music? Turn this down in my ear. I'm going to be working on the Audrey 2, which is one of the totems I've been avoiding. Because it is essentially a lot of work, and I knew it was going to be a lot of work. And so, yeah, I'm going to see what I can do about doing this. The Audrey 2, for those of you who don't know, is the plant from Little Shop of Horrors. And so, I'm going to see what I can do with this. And so she's kind of a, I say she, but I don't really know that it is a she. In the movie, it's got a male voice, but Rick Moranis' character names it after a Audrey, the female lead of the movie. And so I knew right away when I created this creature that this was the route I was going to go, and I did it kind of begrudgingly. I didn't want to go in this direction, but I knew I was going to have to go in this direction, and so it kind of is what it is. This thing is really, really detailed. It was a huge prop for the movie, and so it ends up being a very high level of sculptural detail I'm going to have to do in this. But whatever, it's got to be done. So I'm going to plug away. What's up, Yash? How you doing, brother? And so I'm going to see what I can do here. And there's actually a couple of different things, different versions of Audrey. I'm opting for the mouth closed version because I don't want to do the inner mouth. I'm going to try and take shortcuts here where I can, and that's one of the easiest shortcuts that I can see in doing this. The Audrey 2's got a lot of foliage as well that kind of surround the base of the main pod, the mouth pod, as it were. And that's another one of these things that I kind of wanting to avoid. So I'm gonna go in and just throw in a mask here to define upper mouth from lower mouth. This is something I do when I sculpt characters, and I believe it's going to help me, because what that allows me to do is isolate and mask, so I can very quickly and easily kind of bounce back and forth between these masks. And then yeah, it's just a matter of going in and kind of doing some sculptural work here now. And so I'm going to add some lips to this thing, which shouldn't be too hard. Again, most of the geometry is kind of already here. Just a matter of going in and kind of pulling them up and doing the right thing. And so, once these 3 totems are done, shy of just going in and doing some, I'm going to keep all my groups on here. Shy of going in and doing, cleanup work and any kind of whatchamacallit, polish. You know, I'm kind of where I want to be with this. So I'm just going to go and increase the size of the lips here artificially instead of folding them back as I normally would. And that's just because of how large these are. So I'm using the damn standard here to kind of draw in where those lips go. Now by turning groups on here, it did artificially split my mesh on me. And I'm going to merge it back together again at some point. But this will give me a... this will give me a decent starting point here. So I've gone through... sculpting lips here is not... obviously, as a character artist, not foreign to me. I've gone through the lecture of how to sculpt a mouth with students over and over and over again. And so it is something that I'm well acquainted with. And this mouth isn't entirely human. It still kind of is reminiscent of a set of human lips. And there's kind of a negative... Also, I'm looking at reference on the second monitor here of the Audrey 2 to kind of get a little bit of the shape right here. So anyone who's taken one of my character classes knows that I often I'm very dismissive of Dynamesh. And part of the reason for that is that I know there's a teacher who in second year at George Brown teaches that Dynamesh is the way to go, and doesn't really give it a lot of context in terms of, you know, why he likes to use ZBrush in the way that he does, and I find a lot of students just hear like, oh, okay, you use Dynamesh when you sculpt. And they kind of get locked into that, and I find it's not very helpful. Without a little bit of context, I use Dynamesh, which I kind of forbid it in my character classes, and that's only because my character classes at George Brown happened in third year, which is a year after they've gotten tutelage and using ZBrush from another teacher. And I don't agree with many of the things that he teaches in terms of ZBrushing. I don't like the way that he works, and I don't like the results that are gained from that. And so I'm kind of trying to undo some bad habits that I feel have been taught to some of the students when they get to that point, at George Brown anyway. No, this is not a walnut. This is going to be the Audrey 2, which is a plant that is from Little Shop of Horrors. If you're familiar with that, it's essentially a Venus flytrap type of mouth pod with a big old set of lips on it, and its name is the Audrey 2. And this movie, the story in this movie is that a shop owner, the Little Shop of Horrors, is in love with a woman named Audrey, and he gets this plant that he names after her. It's the Audrey 2, and the plant actually ends up becoming kind of sentient and alive, and it constantly wants him to feed it. And the feeding that happens is that he gives it human beings. And so it's a really messed up story, but it's absolutely beautiful. And so I'm just kind of trying to make this pod here. I'm trying to give it a little bit, like, I want the lips to read as lips, but, you know, I'm also kind of, I don't want to make it too human, but I want to kind of put in some of the anatomy that people would expect to see on this thing. I'm going to turn off the groups here now and remesh this together. And I'm going to turn that off, and let's go and Z-remesh this now. So when I use Dynamesh, as I was mentioning earlier, that I sometimes do, the way that I use Dynamesh is when the base shape for what it is that I'm making is something that I'm going to be playing around with. So in the case of the Audrey 2 here, you know, I had a sphere that I started sculpting on, but I know the topology for a sphere is not adequate enough for what it is that I'm going to be making. And so the idea is to turn on Dynamesh so that as I make, you know, fairly major changes to this thing, you know, it becomes fairly easy to have enough topology in the areas that I wanna reuse and readjust to. And it's not kind of a catch-all that you need to do this to every model. In fact, when I do human characters, I very rarely, if ever, touch the Dynamesh, and the reason for that is that I don't need it. You know, when I make a it's a plane from outer space, get the fuck out of here. I had no idea. I don't think I've ever seen the well, no, I have seen the film. Obviously, I've seen the film, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid. It's not one that I've gone back to. I haven't gone back and revisited. Maybe it'd be time. Maybe I should go back and revisit it. So yeah, so I use Dynamesh in that way when I'm changing the topology in major ways. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Z-remesh this, and the Z-remesher is going to be about, I'm going to undo that because that was terrible. And let's turn on the keep groups and see if that helps any. And the idea is that I just want to get a you know, fairly clean looking topology on this. That's not helpful at all. Let's turn that off. Hey, how's it going? I think I'm just going to run this twice. I hadn't sculpted too much detail. I just want to make sure that I get an edge for where that thing is. And now that I have this, a couple of subdivisions, and I'm going to end up with something really nice and clean. I'm going to switch over to the pinch brush here and do a little bit of defining on these lips. Now, when I do human beings, I'm often not doing this, at least when I'm doing realistic human beings. Oh. See, I take it again, you've seen it recently, or relatively recently. It's definitely not one I've seen in quite some time. Not alone, dear loneliness, that I remember this. Stranger things have happened, I know. Oh, you're not alone. Now, human lips are not as defined as this. You know, we don't actually have a crease, a line where our lips end. You know, our lips kind of just very softly turn back into the rest of the tissue of our face. But the Audrey 2 does have kind of a more defined thing, which was a artistic decision that the visual artists that worked on that film would have decided to do. No, damn it. Something has changed within ZBrush that I'm not happy with. I'm now on 21, by the way. And before anyone asks, no, I haven't played with the cloth yet. I want to wait until I've got time to play with it before I try and go play with it. But, oh, okay. Yeah, well, that explains it. So that's kind of it for the pod part of this. I'm going to just go in and do some additional details here. But that is kind of all that I really need to do with this thing. In terms of its shape, I'm only at 300,000 polys, but again, I don't necessarily need to go to billions without a reason, right? So I kind of do this. I want to kind of I'm gonna seam down the center of the symmetry here. There we go. So I got some more details that I want to put on here. She's got these kind of ridges along the top that kind of dissipate at the back. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of crown the back of this thing in leaves, which will kind of frame it a little bit like a collar. And then I've got some kind of vines and stuff to put in it. As for now, I'm going to just subdivide this one more time to get into the millions. And let's go to my standard brush. And I'm going to go and import an alpha here from my collection. And this is going to be, I got a skin folder in here somewhere. There you are. And I've got some really nice lip wrinkles in here that I like. Lip contours, that's what I like. And I'm going to use these to kind of start putting some detail on this thing. I'm going to kill my symmetry because I don't want that. I'm going to make sure that I'm in Z sub. We'll bring the intensity down. And the trick with this is that they're not placed really well in the image. You said that you would let it go, and I wouldn't hug you up. That I used to know. I didn't even realize that song was playing, and I want to hear it again, so I'm going to start it over. So yeah, so it's a little off center where it's placed. And so you got to kind of start on the lip and bring it back. And then I think of when we were together. So happy you could die. Myself, that you were right for me. Felt so lonely in your company. I still remember. Tin kind of sadness. Like resignation to the end. Always the end. Well, you said that we would still be friends. That it was over. You didn't have to stop me off. I don't even need your love. Me like a stranger and I feel so rough. So I'm just going in and cracking the lips a little bit here. Using the damn standard to add a little bit more to what was already there. Typically going from the crease between the lips. I'm going to bring my intensity down a little bit. And then one of the things that I do that usually helps to make this look a little bit better is I'll switch to my inflate brush. And with the inflate brush, I'm going to go on the large volumes between. And I'm just going to add a little bit of puffiness to them. And this kind of helps emphasize those creases a little bit. But you didn't have to stop me off. Make it like it never happened and that we were nothing. Need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and I feel so rough. You didn't have to stoop so low. Collect a friend, collect your... Change your number. I said I don't need your love that I used to know. 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 And that tends to give the lips a little bit more of a feeling of realism. And again, these are on a plant, so I don't care if I miss the realism too much. There in me something. Oh, I'll be inside. I give this part of me. Oh, sand rains down on here, my friend. Now, when I first started this project, and I was still very doe-eyed about how long things were going to take, which always happens, right? You're very green at the beginning of a project. You're like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I thought of actually using the Audrey 2 as an excuse to learn speed tree. I was like, oh, that'd be a really easy thing to kind of knock out in speed tree. But now, and I put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off, and now find myself kind of near the end of the project with, this. Oh man, I still have to make that model, and so it happens. Feeling so small. Down in a hole. Now, I don't actually want to sculpt too much of the all of the rest of the detail here. This is just about kind of getting the lips to look right. And the reason for that is that really small details like this that typically don't change the silhouette of anything. Typically, that stuff I like to do in Substance Painter. So that looks like it's going to be the main pod. There's a just looking at the reference here again. The top of this thing looks very Klingon head like, with all kinds of grooves and stuff in here. And I did a little bit of that with the clay buildup brush here. But I don't think it was enough. Let's drop down a couple subdivisions. So I want to do, these are larger details, so I'm going to do them with larger polygons. So I drop down in subdivisions. This is one of the reasons why when I do character work, I don't typically use Dynamesh, is that, one of the strongest features ZBrush has is this bidirectional geometry system where I've got a 5-pole right there. Where lower poly affects higher poly, as it does with the Turbo Smooth and Max, but you also get higher poly affecting lower poly, which doesn't happen in every other software. And if you use Dynamesh, you get rid of that. It doesn't do that any longer. And so it's one of those things that I really like to take advantage of that. I give this part of me. Oh, I wanna be inside. Stand rains down on here, I say. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I dig that. Down in a hole, So I'm just going to go up to my highest subdivision level here. Because I made changes at the lower, and again, they do affect upwards. I just want to get rid of that. So I'm really happy with this element here. I do have some other things that I need to do. Let's go to max. So let's delete this. And let's go to Maya here too really quick. And delete that. So I've got my my Jinn totem made, which is what you were looking at there. That it was the magic lamp. And so, yeah. Okay. There's nobody here anymore? Everybody's gone? People came in, said hello, and left. Very interesting. There we go. I'm back. You can hear me again. See you, the real you. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to be making the leaves for Audrey 2, and there's something called Surface Mimic, which is actually a website, Surface Mimic, where they have all kinds of things, and one of them that they have is leaves. And I used to actually have a large collection of Surface Mimic stuff. Let's look for royalty-free. Nope, actually didn't find anything. Plant. No. And so, yeah, so they've got a ton of stuff here. And the idea is you actually just click on the thing that you want reference for. And they're pretty good about doing that. And one of the things that they have is really good scans of let's do flower, grass, tree, weeds. Really good scan data of various leaves from various things. And I thought this might be a pretty good route to go to help me with the leaves on this thing. And what's really neat about them is that they have several things that they provide for you. They have the color, which is both front and back of the leaves. So you've got the waxy, darker color from the top. And then they have the lighter undercolor, and then they have the displacement map as well, which is really cool. And I had purchased a bunch of these at some point. But I remember a student showing me that while I had purchased this high-end thing, there were a bunch of them that were actually just readily available online. And so I thought I would go and see if I could find something reference-wise that was decent enough to make a leaf from. Because that would be super useful to me. In terms of being able to generate the leaves that I'm going to have to make for this. Let me try a couple other things here. Leaf, cross-polarized. Let's see if we can find a cross-polarized photo of a leaf. Call me Basil. So the nice thing about cross-polarized photos is that they remove... let's see if we can do this. They remove the specularity, and all you're left with essentially is base color. But I'm going to see. Let's see if we can do this in Photoshop here. There's another neat trick you can do, provided the photos match, and they've got to be taken in a really good way for this to happen. This looks like it should line up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put two of these things in here. Let's see if this snaps to the middle. It's close. And I'm just going to move this one over. And let's get its opacity right. So what I want to do is just actually line these things up. It'll be close. It's not going to be perfect. These photos are not as perfect as I'd like them to be. But what you can do is once you have that overlapped, if you go to your difference... and these things do line up the way that they're supposed to. There's difference. You can see that the scale is off here. But what you end up with when you get the difference to line up exactly correct is this actually will just turn into your specularity map, which is absolutely beautiful when you can do that. Obviously not the case right now. You can actually see with the bright purple outline here that these images do not line up as closely as you would like. I'm going to try and just use this little hair to line them up. Yeah. I can actually see here, if I look at this image, that this might not actually be true cross-polarizing, because I can see a couple of after images behind it that don't look like shadows. They actually look like something else going on. But anyway, this is a fairly high-resolution image, which is really nice. But I was just hoping to avoid sculpting a leaf from scratch. But that doesn't seem to be like it's going to be the case. And so what I'm going to do... So I've got Audrey here in her plant, in her pot. And I think what I'll do is... I'm just going to make some of the leaves here inside of ZBrush. And we'll see how that works. So to start off with, I'm going to go to Subtool, Append, and we'll grab another sphere. And I'm going to scale the sphere up and go put it kind of somewhere around her back here. And the idea that I have to do this, I'm going to do this with some transparency on here so I can see what I'm doing, is I'm going to, let's turn Dynamesh on. I'm going to bring the resolution down a little bit. With the model this big, Dynamesh is going to be mental, so I want to be very careful with that. But the idea is to go and mask out. I'm going to start somewhere around the back. Again, that's where the stem is coming out. And the idea is to mask out the shape of a leaf on here. Hey, Ian, are you still there? Thinking of you. So there's one of the leaves that I want. What I'm going to do is hit Control W, and you'll see that that actually gives me topology in the right shape. So what I'm going to do is turn off Dynamesh for the time being, modify topology, and delete hidden. And then we're going to go back to Dynamesh. Now, I don't want to turn Dynamesh on right now, because what Dynamesh is going to do with this is it's going to close the hole on it. And that's not going to give me what I want. So what I actually need to do is a little trick here you can do. I'm going to go to my morph target and store morph target. And so, yeah, Ian, you're still here. Good. Look what I bought. Eh? I haven't bought one of those in so frickin' long. That thing that I told you I was going to be working on, I bought that for it. So anyway, I've stored a morph target. I'm going to go to deformation, and I'm going to use my mouse for this so I can get a little bit more accuracy in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inflate this thing. And now that I've inflated it, that moved the geometry a little bit. If I go to morph target now, I can create a difference mesh. And the difference mesh, what that is, if we go check it out, is actually just the shelled version of what it was that I had. Yeah, I've got 5 days and counting. And then I will. So I'm going to go here and delete that one. And then we're going to go and append the one that I just made. Difference mesh. All right, dude. So what that gave me was now this, essentially, a leaf shape, kind of in and around the back of this guy. And I'm going to use this to generate a lot of the leaves on this guy. just before I do that, I'm going to redo his polygroups here. I'm going to go into geometry, and I'm going to z-remesh him down to, I don't know, 0.5 in terms of topology. And it's because I don't really want all of the Dynameshy stuff in here. So I z-remesh it, get a usable topology, and then I can subdivide it, sculpt the veins and stemming that goes on this thing. Now, I'm also, you're going to notice I'm sculpting these leaves with thickness, which is, again, not typically something you see with video game plants. However, I do believe that it will be cheaper with topology than it will be to make them with alpha inside of the engine. I could probably do away with the thickness and just make 2 materials, one for either side of the mesh. I think this will work just as well. I want to be careful with complexity that needs any kind of blueprinting inside of ZBrush or Unreal, because this thing lives in a blueprint that is on multiple meshes or multiple assets, and I don't want to tweak that. So when this thing's done, I will have 2 assets, 2 totems left to build. One of which is the doctor's satchel that I have to make. The second is for the scarecrow, and I'm still wishy-washy about that one in terms of what I'm going to do for that totem. I forget who it was. Somebody recommended last time that I do a scythe, and that's kind of cool. It's a neat idea, but the problem with creatures is that when I think of that scythe, I think of death. I don't think of a scarecrow. And so I was toying around with what I should do, and actually my kid gave me a really good idea that I may end up implementing, which just is a couple of crow feathers and a couple of pieces of straw together in like a little pile. And I thought that's actually not bad. The other thing that I was toying around with the idea of doing is a burlap sack type mask, which I think might suit it very well. We'll see. So the z-remesher seems to be taking its sweet ass time. Let's go and there's that guy. Whoa. Let's close Maya for the time being. So by Monday, I'm calling an end to all modeling on this. By Monday, whatever's done is done. If there are outstanding totems on Monday, then they get removed. They're going to get pulled from the game, and part of the reason for that is that. Thanks, Rich. Yeah, I'm pleased with the way it turned out. It's funny, you work so hard on these things, and you put it on a shelf, and it looks like that. Useless. And so I'm calling an end to all modeling. By Monday, there is no more modeling going to be done on this. There are a couple of things that I'm still kind of playing around with whether or not I'm going to actually do them. So anyone who's been watching from day one will remember that I put these outside things here. So this is actually outdoors. If I go out here and up, I'm outside the world. So I've actually got holes in my maps up here. And that's because this was meant to be a window that was here. And right now it's just a cutout with a metal grate behind it. And I've got several of those in the map. There's one here. There's one here. And it's one of those things that I always meant to go back and put like an old wooden frame in there with the paint chipping off. I thought there might have been one on that wall. I don't see one on that wall. Far from any sun. There's none there, so there's one here too. And so I think one mesh would kind of help cover all of those up. And so that's the idea. I may have to go doing that. But anyway, come Monday, I'm not modeling anything else. That is, whatever this place looks like come Monday, that'll be the end of it. And so, yeah, that's it. I'm unhappy with the level of light over here. This one little corner is super dark. And I mean, like, when you're actually in the game, it doesn't look so bad. And when you get some of the fog in here, the atmosphere fog, it looks better. But it's just that there's a totem on the table that I fear may go unnoticed. Wow, there's some serious lag going on there. Ooh. I was only down to 19 frames a second over there. Why is that area so expensive? That seemed to be the most expensive right there. No, I am also running this at 4K, so that might have something to do with it. Hopefully, that's all it is. It's also that ZBrush is doing its thing. Oh my god, that's terrible. What the fuck, ZBrush? Let's ZBrush this again, but keep my groups. We'll remember I'm out here on the ledge, barely hanging. There we go. That's better. So it fucked up a little bit in this corner here. I do want to get the topology as clean as I can get it, so I'm going to go and try and fix that. We're just going to export this out and go tweak it in Max. Now I'm doing something, there's a lot of people that kind of go back and forth on this. All the meshes that I'm making are the right scale for 1 unit is 1 centimeter. And that's what 3ds Max is set to. But ZBrush has its own scale. And, oh, I hate these color. And that smaller than normal scale really does mess with things. So the bottom of this thing actually looks decent. I'm going to adjust these guys here a little bit. Yeah, so I'm pleased with that. So what I'm going to do is we'll just put the shell on here. If I knew it was coming to Max, I would have just done this in the first place. Ugh, I'm getting done with this beard, man. I think over the weekend, I am going to get rid of this damn thing. It's starting to drive me nuts. I'm in heaven tonight. Playing out in my mind. So let's bring this down. Okay. We'll just go bring that back in. ZBrush. Let's just overwrite this sucker. Okay, so we're going to group by normals, which will give me my polygroups back. I'm going to go increase my polygroups and divide. Got me running. And undo. So, I actually want to alter the blue polygroup here. And it's because I want these corners to remain rigid. Let's see if I got that right. It looks right. Nope. I was wrong. And this one's got to go. Almost home. What the fuck? Why does that corner not go the right place? There. Give me a hell. Give me a yeah. There we go. So we're going to increase my polygroups. Divide. And then we'll uncrease all. Divide again. Turn my polygroups off. So that's essentially what I want to do with the leaves. I'm going to play around with the shape a lot more, but in terms of actually making them, I only need one high poly, one low poly, and I can use that to populate the rest of the thing. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I now need to actually go and sculpt it. So let's go and add some laser mouse. Lazy radius. That's not it. Not lazy radius. Lazy smooth. That's a little bit closer to what I want. I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to change the alpha on this sucker. That's going to be better. Let's switch this to an additive brush. Now my goal here, let's solo this out, is to make sure that it gets both the top and the bottom of this thing. Because that'll give me the best results. That's not what I want at all, actually. So, I think a leaf's vein is bulbous on both sides and not just on the top side. I don't think it's concave underneath. So I don't know. That's the way I'm going to make this. It's a space plant. So who cares? Come on. Now when I worked for Laser Quest, we did a lot of plant life when we did the mazes, the arenas, and I found it really irritating at one point, because I was making the plants up as I was going, and oh, you did it again. My boss came by to look at things, and I often felt like he was critical for the sake of being critical. It was just kind of like his thing. And I mean, it was his job, obviously, to critique us. But it was a freaking laser tag arena. And I felt like some of the criticism was as though we were doing fine art. And I found that a little bit funny. But anyway, I had done this I had done this mural that was I did a spider monkey, and I thought it really clever. This was in a kid's party room, and I thought it really clever to make the spider monkey. When I painted him, I did him in a very Spider-Man type pose while he was swinging, so he was all kind of like bent in weird shapes and hyperextended and contracted and stuff. And I thought that was a really, really clever thing to do. And then I had him on this big kind of twisty-turny vine, and I had leaves everywhere. And I remember being really, really freaking proud of this thing because it was kind of clever. It felt very party room-like for kids and stuff like that. And I remember my boss coming in, taking a look at it, and just shaking his head when he saw it. And I was like, "What?" And and he was like, "That's not what the vascularity of a leaf looks like." I was like, "Yeah, but it's a kids' party room. Like, they're not going to care." He was like, "Yeah, but I'm a botanist." And I was like, "Oh, of course you are." And so it was one of those things that I had to go back and repaint some of the larger leaves I had. Which, I mean, granted, understandably so, they weren't correct, but I didn't think that was the venue for that level of accuracy. Apparently, I was wrong. I was really green when they hired me as an artist. I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, that's been unwrapped. I've got a leaf. I've got a high poly version of the leaf. I've got the main stalk, I've got the mouth, I've got that. So I think those are all the components I need. I'm going to export this thing and put it back over the other leaf here. There it is. Again, I think that's really the only leaf I'm going to make, and I'm going to put a bunch of them in. We'll delete this one. Delete this one. And import the other one. With this not being a hard surface mesh, I'm not going to bother with Maya for UVs. Damn, I forgot to do it again. Let's delete this. It's driving me nuts that Max is automatically giving everything a random color when I import it. Where's the setting? Unique wire color? No. It's not here. Let's go look at the presets. ZBrush preset, single mesh, editable poly, retriangulate is off, flip XY is on, center, shapes, texture coordinates, smoothing groups, flip normals, unique wire color is off. Yeah, there's no, yeah, it is not one of the settings. It is, however, happening nonetheless. And even here, assign random colors is off. Just Max being Max. Foolish software. All right, so that guy's going to look good. Again, I'm going to make changes to the shape of this thing. I just can't do it till I do my baking. And I'm going to want to put dirt in the pot. So I'm going to need to make sure that that gets unwrapped by itself. Let's see where my polygon count is in this guy. Hopefully like 7 or so. 13! It's this damn thing. It's too high. How high is that? Now that's 10 of the 13. I'm going to go... Can I reconstruct? I cannot. So I'm going to Z-remesh this thing. Let's do this. Let's make a duplicate, because I don't want to lose anything I've sculpted. No, I want you. Everything else is off. Okay, so I'm going to go to Geo. I'm going to go to Z-remesh. And I'm going to say fucking in half in Z-remesh. That's 5. That's 2.9. 1.6. There we go. So what I'm going to do now, divide. 400,000, 1,000,004, 1,000,007, 6. And then we're going to bring the other one back. Hit the all high button here. And then I'm going to go, nope, same menu. Same menu. Project all. And this will give me just a much better topology. Polygon count, not topology layout. There we go. You, my friend, can go away. So let's go. No. This. Okay, so that's good. If I go all low, export, where'd Audrey go? Okay, let's see how that helps my topology count here. So from 10,005, I think we're going to end up at about 6 or so. $3,000. That's way better. So now I'm at 6 overall, which is way better because I've got to add a bunch more of these leaves, and I'd rather them not be crazy expensive. So with the whole thing being 6, it means I can add a bunch of leaves and still get quite a bit higher. I may retopologize the leaf again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save myself the topology right now. I'm going to get rid of the thickness in the leaf. And that brings me down to 5. And I'm just going to two-side the material. Actually, I'm going to double-side the material, which I think will be even smarter. Let's get rid of this mustard yellow. Okay, so UV time. It's UV time. Let's grab this guy. Turn that off. And he's fine. He's already unwrapped. I might do a little bit of a relax here. I don't know what state the ZBrush... Well, did a pretty decent job, actually. Okay, so now we're going to grab an edge down the middle of the mouth, which appears to be that one. And we're going to break that. And we'll relax this. And then we'll relax this. Let's undo that and mirror it. And then relax it. Okay, that's those two things. The stem. Okay, no, that's fine. Where are you going? I think that needs a an X form put on it. The software thinks it's huge. Whoa, too big. Okay, so that leaves me just the pot here. Turn my angle select on here. Z. That's everything else. I'm going to split the edge down here. So I watched a movie today while I was working, which fairly standard. I'm often watching films while I work. Put them on a monitor too. Usually it's documentaries, because then I don't have to pay attention as well to the screen as well. That's something that makes my life a little bit easier. Classes start week after next, and so it's definitely getting close. I am definitely in a state of. I'm not in a state of panic, but I'm in a state of. I'm getting close to enough is enough. And so that's why I was saying Monday, I'm going to kill all the modeling. Yash gave my character to an animation student to give me some animations. But I don't know the state of those animations. I don't know the student. I don't know how good the animations are going to be. And I also don't know if he knows anything about the project and, you know, what I actually need of the animations. And so that has me a little concerned that the animations are not going to be where I want them to be. And as such, I might be animating early next week. We'll see. I've got this mostly done. Like it'll run right now. I'd rather not run it right now, but it is at a point where I'm okay with it if I need to. Z, there we go. I'm your turbo lover. Did you, Ian? Did you see? Reese sent me the thing. I know everybody's been sending me the fucking thing, but did you see it? The remake of the Thundercats intro, the cringeworthy remake of the Thundercats intro. I'm a little disappointed that somebody already did the thing that I want to do. I mean, it's Thundercats. It's not the same. It's not the same show, but that principle of, you know, taking an 80s cartoon and redoing it with, you know, today's graphics. Not that what he did was today's graphics, because holy fuck nut is that thing terrible. But yeah. Yeah, the guy's got no knowledge of lighting. The lighting was terrible. Actually, most of it is just terrible. All like full stop. It's fucking horrendous. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But like, I don't understand why everything's completely in shadow. Yeah. You know what's funny is I originally thought that they were DAZ 3D models. And then I went and looked into it, and they're not. He actually modeled that shit in Blender. And I was like, wait, you made those? Yowzers. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it was not well done. Okay. So UVs are done on this thing. And this is Leaf. I'm going to keep to my naming convention here so that I don't screw this up. So Leaf underscore low. Audrey underscore low. Stem underscore low. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing, like, I don't know if he thinks he's a better artist than he is, right? I don't know if this was a matter of him thinking that he's awesome and that it looks really, really good. But it doesn't read right what he's doing. And, you know, part of that is that the animations weren't lifelike, the models weren't lifelike, the lighting wasn't lifelike. Like there was nothing lifelike about it. So to go for that style just seems like a really massive error on his behalf. And so, yeah, I'm not entirely sure why things were done in that way. But yeah, everybody and their dog has been sending me links to that thing on Discord, in my email, and texting it to me, all because of Mask. And it is a little saddening. that I feel when Mask is done and people see it, that they are going to think, oh yeah, it's the same thing that other dude did. And that's a little gut wrenching. Yeah, no, shot for shot, he was pretty good. There's something weird with the shot where Lion-O's in front of the Thunder Lair, and all the cats jump in, and then you see Obi-Wan cat. The fuck was he again? Linkso? No, not Lynx. Jaga. When you see Jaga come floating in, there's a weird kind of things don't line up, and then it kind of speeds up a little bit and catches up again. But yeah, no, it lines like it's decent. It lines up really, really well. I'm wondering if he's getting hit for the song, because he I wouldn't imagine he's got permission to use the song, and it is the original song, and so I wonder if he's getting all kinds of copyright hits. Okay, Plenteous. Okay, so I need to essentially hide that. Let's go back to ZBrush and bring the high poly version of this in. And no, this. So I need to export the two of these. Okay, turn that off. Export. This is going to be OBJ. I'm in the OBJ folder. Leaf underscore high. Give that a second. I don't know, man. I got a hit in one of the first live streams that I was doing the Mask project in order to show people what it was that I was working on. I put the YouTube, the video of the original intro, and I got hit for copyright with that. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. Copyright's such a funny thing. I think what I'm going to do is play the Mask song during one of my live streams, and just see if I get dinged for it, right? Because I'm using that guy's version of it, and so I'd like to see if that's actually a thing. Okay, so I've exported those, and we're going to hide this. I don't know, dude. I gotta see. I gotta see where things are going to go come September. Right now, the only thing I know is that all of my pieces are getting thrown up in the air, and I gotta wait and see where they land to figure out where I'm going to be with things. I don't want to stop Mask, right? I still want to work on Mask. I still want to get that done. But I told you about my other project that also might take precedence. I don't know. The problem with the other project is that I can't live stream it. I've got some things in mind. I'll talk to you sometime soon privately. But I've been reading up on a lot of things to do and how to do them. And live streaming the process of that is a bad idea. And so I don't know. I'm gonna see. Once all my pieces fall down and hit the floor, and I can see where everything lands. Because we're also, like, this year we're not doing childcare. And so when I'm at home, when I'm not teaching and at home, I have the kids here just by myself. So not that that's an issue. Like, the kids they're more than happy to just go fuck off and play by themselves. But it's going to eat into the time that I have right now. And so They are. They're going back to school. Their school board has mandated that every semester is going to wear masks, and so whether or not the kids want to, that is a thing. Which, I mean, our kids were going to wear masks anyway. But yeah, it's kind of nice to know that the entirety of the school board will be doing that. They're going to be in the same cohort, so we actually pulled them out of the same class a ways back for. I mean, we did it for them, so they could get used to having other friends other than each other. And so now they're going to be put back into the same class again, which should be fine. I mean, they're the best of friends anyway. But yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how things are going to go. I know that for the first 2 weeks, they're not going to be it's going to be 2 days a week for the first couple of weeks. And so we've got a bunch of homeschooling stuff that we're going to do that I don't want them falling behind. Like, my kids are fucking brilliant. And they have a really big gap on a lot of the other kids in their classes. And I don't want them to lose that. My daughter's been reading since she was like fucking 3. And she's at the point where she's reading like 2 grades above her level. And so I don't want them to lose that by having a semester of barely any schooling. And so we've got all kinds of workbooks and stuff that we are going to be like, you're not at school, you're going to do, 3 pages a day of this book. And just have them do different things and whatnot. They're also both chomping at the bit to work on that other thing I was telling you about. And they both actually seem to want to be quite involved with it. And so I'm going to assign them tasks. And we'll see how they do with that. I've got some things that are kind of right up their alley. But my son's actually proving to have some really good ideas with some of the things that we've talked about, and so there's a bunch of that I'm going to get them to do too. That I want to kind of treat it as work with them and see how they do with that. Okay, so let's go see here now how this works. I got an update to Painter a couple days ago, earlier today, and it's crashed on me a couple of times. I was doing some work, and it crashed on me while it was baking, and I've never had it do that before, so I was a little concerned that something might have happened. Okay, totems, and this is Planius, and okie dokie. Okay, let's kill that. Go here. Make sure there's one material. Good. Edit name. Can I just remove the name? No. Okay. I'm going to rename it _. There we go. Helps me get rid of the name later on. So let's go see if this actually bakes. And I think the issue with the crash that I experienced was that the high poly was too high. Because it was the only thing that I could really think of that was different with the mesh that I was working on compared to anything else. But I don't even know if that was actually the case. This, aiming occlusion all the way up. And this has to be always the same mesh. No. Self-occlusion, only same mesh. Thickness, crank it. Only same mesh. And Bakevoo. So yeah, this semester is going to be pretty wonky, man. I don't know where things are going to go. It's very, very interesting. I also don't know how much free time I'm going to have once the semester starts. I've only got 6 hours maximum of teaching a day, which is nice. And it would be good to make sure that that's used effectively for the students. But it means that I'm going to have a bunch of free time to work on other things if I need to. Okay. Ooh. There's a problem with the pot. It looks like the UVs in the pot got broken up. Nice, dude. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. That's good things. It's funny today. Cineplex announced that they were opening theaters again, and Aaron and I were looking at each other, going, "What the fuck, man?" Like, people are starting to get it into their heads that we've beaten this somehow, and no one's beaten anything, man. We stopped it from spreading because we started wearing masks and we stayed indoors. But like, to start opening theaters and have people do, it's just nonsense. I don't know why they're doing that. So I would recommend, Ian, if you're going to buy anything, I don't know if you heard from Braybrook or not about whether or not his buddy had something else. But if you are going to buy something computer-wise, I strongly recommend you do it while you're still in the work from home thing, because we're going to be able to claim a bunch of that. And so, I bought my brand new desktop while working from home, so it's all going to be claimable under this work from home thing. It's hardware that I had to buy to work from home, and so that is a brilliant thing that you're going to be able to do come tax season in the spring. Okay. So we actually baked fairly well. I just want to go and double check here. Yep. Yeah. So that's what I was afraid of. The UVs on the vase got fucked up somehow. On the thing. Unhide all. And let's rename these both low again. Yeah, for sure. And so if you're going to buy one, the time she coming. Do it before people are like, yeah, we don't need to work from home no more. Oh, yeah, that's fucking stupid. Why did that happen? Ooh, girl, let's take it slow. So as for you, you will never know. Why is it doing that? So that's better. Walk away. So addicted to all the things you do when you're going down on me. In between the sheets, all the sounds you make, every breath you take, it's so like anything when you're loving me. Yeah. You know what? I'm waiting for the 3000 series too, but not for the same reason. I mean, obviously, I just bought a 2080. So NVIDIA can go fuck themselves with their 3000 series. But when the 3000 series comes out, I'm hoping the 2080s drop in price because I'll buy another one. And I'll run two 2080s in tandem. They're $2,000 right now. So if I can get it down to 12, that would be worthwhile. Because then I'll run them SLI and get even more performance out of this bad boy. I've also got to swap my monitors. This monitor that I'm using, it's a 4K monitor, and I bought it relatively cheap, and I'm starting to realize that that was a mistake. I've learned in the last little while that there are two kinds of syncs that happen with a monitor. One that is AMD specific, and one that is NVIDIA specific. And the monitor I have is not the NVIDIA specific one, even though I've got an NVIDIA card. That was just because I bought a cheap ass monitor, and so I need to buy a monitor that actually has the NVIDIA G-Sync, is what it is, so that I can let's do this. Actually get the proper refresh rate for the monitor, which would be mucho helpful in actually getting more performance out of this. I notice when I look at monitor 1, I can actually see the lines of resolution going on this thing. And so I would like to replace this. I'm debating going super wide, getting one of the nice big, like, ultra wide monitors. The only thing I'm not sure about with doing that is streaming and such. I mean, I guess you just treat it as two monitors. But I'm thinking of doing that. I've been looking at those things. And I want to do that before the second outbreak happens, because that's not something I want to buy remotely. That's something that I want to go into Canada Computers and see it running on a computer that has the same specs as mine, so that I can see it and see if it actually is what I want. So now we are just going to bake again. Yeah, I can delete that. Let's go back here. Shouldn't have to change anything, just bake again. That's better. Yeah, and a monitor is one of those things, right? That's the mistake I made with this one. And it's a big ass monitor, and I like it. Like, it's really nice and high res and everything, but I just feel like I could have gotten better if I just spent a little bit more time researching and whatnot. And monitor number 2, I actually bought it at like a Staples, just to work with my laptop, because I didn't have anything at the time. And so it was like a $200 HP monitor. It's not the greatest thing in the world. It's earmarked for Erin's desk once I buy something better. She's just gonna take that and use it as her second monitor. But yeah, I need something better. Okay. So I'm pleased with the way this is looking. I essentially gotta make this thing look like kind of like a rotten. Oh yeah, eh? Well, yes, sir. There will be animations. Let me tell you. My first goal on other project is two things. Thing number 1 is the sketchbook. I want to concept the hell out of this thing, and get it to the point where I'm really happy with the way things look. And so that's kind of goal number 1 is to do that. And then while I'm doing that, it's also going to be to just test things out in Unreal. See how, you know, if I can make it fun, and if I can get it to a point where it is what I want it to be, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying this creature skin again here, which was something I'd played with a little bit when I did the fish, and I wasn't happy with it. And I thought I would try it on the Audrey here to see if it then feels any better on Audrey. And I don't think it does. I will try the other creature skins because I want to kind of see what they look like as well. That's not good. Let's try Bluey. That's just noise. So we're going to make our own yet again. Okay. See what we can do with this. Let's go back to materials and start with good old shiny blue. Now I've put a seam on that. I'm wondering if I can use the seam as a gradient. I don't think I can. I essentially have to make a him look like a big watermelon. So I'm going to start with a base of green. I'll try and get my roughness a little bit more where I want it. I'm going to go into the height and see what I can do about adding some pores or something in here. Oh, that's right. That's what I should do. Let's use the skin. That was what I had done with the other thing. Okay, so let's go in here and go watermelon with this again. And set this to work like that. Okay. So now I'm going to grab another skin. Yeah, that. I'm going to put this one on top. And we're going to set the color on this one. Yeah, maybe about here. Let's add a black mask. Add a black mask. On the black mask, I'll add a fill. Have you, Ian, have you done, I mean, I know you've animated before, but have you done any rigging or anything in Maya? Is that something you've played with? I know personally I've done a little bit of playing with it. So I was looking to get a little bit more out of this. I'm going to try and go darken this color a little bit. It's a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm going to add a lighter one on top of that. Let's go back to the materials here. So you got some work to do. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to put this above. Bring it down. I can go fairly light in the green here. Might even go lighter. Okay. Black mask. Add a fill. No. Add a generator. For your life. Play inside. Metal edgeware. Grunge mount. I know that you've been bad. I know it'd be enough. Shame on us. On its way. So be afraid. We're all just savages. You can trust. It's safe for us. We're all just savages. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to add a paint layer. And I'm just going to paint color here. Know that you've been bad. Don't it be enough? Shame on us. Apocalypse is on its way. We're all just savages. It's safe for us. We're all just savages. Savages. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this like lipstick and get a nice big coat on here. And then I'll add the next color and blur it. God save us all. Okay, let's get into a little bit more peach. A little warmer. Okay, and this, whoops. On its way. So be afraid. All just savages. You can trust. It's safe for us. We're all just savages. We're all just savages. Savages. So the goal here is to try and get a little bit more of the color that I want on the lips in here. And I want it to be on a gradient, but I don't want to paint a gradient. Instead, what I'm going to do is get it kind of just one or two colors in the right area. I'm going to paint a darker crease in here. And then I'm going to blur it. And this should blend these colors into one another so that I get the effect I'm looking for. Okay. So just kind of those levels kind of thing. Let's rename this. And I'm going to add a filter to this. Filter. And the filter is going to be the blur. And if I crank up the intensity on the blur, it'll actually give me that kind of gradient type effect that I'm looking for. Which will read quite nicely on that. the other thing I want to do is start adding some more interesting colors and stuff in here. To do that, I'm going to, let's see, duplicate this layer. Where did you go? Duplicate. So this is going to be lips dark. And I'm going to add another filter to this. One good turn deserves my dying. And this is just going to be an HSL. And I'll bring the lightness down. And bring the saturation up a little bit. So that's the normal color and the darker color. And so what I'm going to do with this is add a black mask. And in that mask, we're going to go into the smart masks. And I want something kind of occlusion, like sand cavities, soft damage. Okay, let's try the sand. Okay, and the idea is to get to a point where it kind of uses the... Not too bad. It's starting to hit those areas a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer again. I'll bring it up above. And I'm going to add another filter. Another HSL. This one we're going to brighten so that it's quite bright. So again, normal color, brightened color. I won't let go till it bleeds. And we're going to add that again. And in the smart masks, soft edges. And in this one, I'm going to blur it a little bit and bring the balance down. Kind of find that. That's not too bad. I'm going to bring the opacity of this one down just a little bit. Yeah, that's starting to get there. Okay. I'm going to go back into these guys, and I'm going to add a fill. And the fill's just going to be color. And the color is going to be a very dark green. Ba-doo-down, ba-doo-down. Black mask, and in the black mask, I'm going to look for dots. Nope. Spots. Grunge spots, Gaussian spots. That's not what I wanted. You got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. There we go. Let's rotate these a little bit. Ba-doo-dan, ba-doo-dan. Da-doo-dan, da-doo-dan. That's not bad. Let's see what I can do in terms of something else here. You got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. not bad. Ba-ba-bum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Okay, I'm gonna do another one here too. Do another fill. This time I'm gonna do kind of a bluish green. Add a black mask. Add a fill. Net, do that. Boom, 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 boom. What is this? Whirly noise. You got another thing coming. Okay, I'm gonna see what I can do with this. Away. Okay, it's kind of giving me the watermelon stripes I want. I'm gonna change this color to be a little more desaturated. Okay. Let's go play. Now, the only thing that I'm paying attention to here in all of this is just the pod. I'm not looking at the stem. I'm not looking at the leaf. I'm not looking at anything else. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add a fill. And we're going to do this with the roughness only. So that I can get the roughness to be kind of the way that I want it to be. Actually, you know what I should do? So let's go all the way back to the first layer. And let's get the roughness here to be right. So I'm going to make this roughness fairly shiny. Bring this one up a little bit. This one can be a little shiny. I want it to kind of read a little bit like an avocado. Those are fine where they are. That's fine where it is. I'm going to turn the... Where am I here? Lips. Make sure roughness is off. Off on this layer. And then on this layer, no roughness either. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Ian, did you see yesterday's stream? Were you around? Tell me who you see. I need to make a folder here. Put all this stuff into. I made a totem yesterday in one go, one fell swoop, and I'm crazy happy with it. It turned out really, really nice. Let me show you. Took me a little moment to walk over here. Mm-hmm. So there it is down there on the shelf. This totem. What do you think of that? Is that not a fucking killer totem? And this one? Did you see this one? I don't think you saw this one. I think these two totems you might have missed. Yeah, possessed toy. I like it. And what do you think of the other one? What do you think the other one is? Oh, yes, yes. You already knew that one. Fine. That's fine. Sleeping. Let's see. to be the person that I am today. Okay. That's 2 of these things done. Let's see what I can do about ceramic pottery here. This, black mask. Select this thing. And let's do normal first. And there should be a replace. Height. And replace. Falling away. There we go. That's what I wanted. Ever. No longer the pain, and I can see you through fake. That's too much. And that's why you gotta come down here. No longer the pain, for I can see you fall fake. Okay, that's not bad. Give you the lever. Where's my roughness? Okay. All will remain. Okay, let's see what I can do about making some dirt here for the top of that. Up here, add another fill. A little warmer. Dun, dun. Okay, height. Let's see what we got. Okay. Let's go into the rough. Bring that down a little bit. Okay. Much too loud. Cover now. Feel I'm on my way. Oh, today I can't live in here for another day. What am I doing here? Real as ever. Do. All right, dude. Have a good one. Okay, so that put some dirt in the pot. I'm gonna add dirt to the whole thing, but right now I'm just making like the brand new, very shiny version of this thing. Hey, I can live in here for another day. Okay, so here's one of my custom-made smart materials. I'm gonna see if I can't use this to help me with the leaf here. Nope, I don't want that one. Real as ever. Where's my other one? Okay. Let's try this one out. Let me go and kill the color variation and the light. Where's my light? Color variation, color variation. Okay, base color. We're gonna go dark green. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do before I do anything is add a black mask to this. And put it on there. That way I can see the colors in relation to everything else. Which should help. Let's grab a lighter color here. Cavity. I'm gonna go pretty dark with that. Up here, edges. We can actually go into yellow a little bit with this. And that one's fine. AO. no, boo doo doo. Roughness. No roughness. Okay, let's go back to the base. Roughness is here. And I want this to be here. No roughness. No roughness. No. 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 Okay. This guy is really bright. Okay, I'm gonna do that. And what I'm gonna do now is add some variation to the rough. Going back into the base, grabbing the roughness here. Let's look up some grunge. And I need something that's gonna look like plant fibers. I think that might work. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to square root that color to do the inside of that. So now I just want to put some dirt on the whole thing. Black mask. Let's add a Jenny to the black mask. And in the Jenny, we'll add the dirt. Oh. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to spit out these textures. And then the goal is to actually start duplicating leaves. Oh. Okay, coming into woods. Textures. This. And export. This guy's gonna get his own material in Unreal because I've got some things I want to do with him. So we're gonna affect the pivot on this thing because no, you. Put it here. Let's kill the, let's put this back to 5. And then turn it off. I'm bleeding May. And we're going to move it back a little bit. And we'll do another one. It's going to go here. This one will scale down a little bit. I'm going to angle some of these out too so they open. I don't want them all kind of like this. But that's kind of the idea, is to get them to a position here where they all kind of make sense a little bit. Okay. let's move another one over here. Don't understand. Pull this one open. Bleeding now. Okay, so I've got something special that I want to do for the quote-unquote arm version of these things. So I gotta make sure this is in the right place. There. I'm gonna scale this one up a little bit. Okay. And because those are all duplicated from the original leaf, they're actually going to inherit its textures, which is kind of cool. Okay. Let's try that. And then same thing with this one. FFD box. There we go. Okay. Actually, let's do these. Okay. Let's get this guy into the engine. How big is he? Perfect. Not perfect. Okay. I actually need to put a separate material on the leaves, even though it's using the same textures. Yeah, I'm a freak. of nature. And I'll put a separate one on the body too. That's because I want to put some SSS on this thing. Cabin. Nope. FBX. Totems. What are you doing on here? EWF. Oh. Export selected. Let's try that again. Okay, so in the engine, we can go find Plantius and import the plant. Yeah. Step one, I want to make sure my materials work. So it looks like I got one for the leaves and one for everything else. So it didn't actually take. I got to put one on here. That's why. Didn't get assigned. If only I could be as cool as you. As cool as you. Cool as you. I should get 3 here now. Beautiful. Textures and materials. And we're going to make a new folder. And we're going to import our textures in here. I'm a freak. Okay, so material number 1 is going to be the pot. Master pot. Body and soul, I'm a freak. I'm a freak. Normals. Colors. And then we've got AO. AO. Rough. And metallic. Which is pointless. Because it's not metallic. Crap. I forgot to change this. And this. Okay, that guy's right. Okay, I'm pleased with that. The next one I'm going to do is the main body. So these guys are all going to come in here as well. Normal. And then same thing here. Ambient. And rough. I'm not going to bother plugging the metal in. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the way that this is being rendered to be a subsurface material. And I'm going to take the square root of my color and put it in the subsurface color. Just going to make them glow little bits. The other thing that I want to do is go and find my textures. There's my thickness. And I'm going to export this resource and put it in there. And then we're going to go and import that in here. Put this in here. This is going to go under here, and I'm going to multiply the square root by this guy. So what that's doing, I'm gonna change the way this thing's working too. sRGB is off. And masks. And this should be linear color. Let's just replace it. Don't crash. I think it's gonna crash. There we go. So what that's supposed to do is limit the subsurface scattering to where the mesh is thinnest. I'm going to see how it works here when I get it on the mesh. Plant. So this is going to go on the plant. Oh yeah, no, that's not doing what I wanted to do. Let's go back into that material. I think this thing is not dark enough. Yeah, just the leaf is showing up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go edit it in Photoshop. Cabin in the Woods. F textures, Plantius. MNOP. This guy. No, don't do that. So what I want to do here is just adjust the levels. The only thing I care about is just these three things here. This, this, and this. And so I'm going to try and get a little bit more variety in those. And say, okay. Save that. And then in Unreal, we'll just re-import it. That's better. Stop previewing that. Save this. I still think it's too bright. I'm a whisper lost upon wind. I'm the ember that'll burn you down. I'm the water that'll drown you. I'm just a black hole now. I'm a fruit decaying on the ground. It makes no sound. I make no sound. Everybody wants to see us all unfold. Let's go see that. Well, that's not bad, actually. Okay, I'm gonna bring it into the map too, because I think that's gonna help a lot. Okay, so the other thing that I gotta do is the leaves now, and so we'll close this one. Gonna make a new material again. MA leaves. In a loaded gun. Color. Normal. Stand up, break my bones, everybody. What they just can't hold. There's nobody praying for me. Okay. So the plan here is to make a material that is lighter on one side than on the other. And it's just kind of an easy thing to do. So first I'm going to make it two-sided so that we can have material on both sides of the mesh. And then what I'm going to do is I need to calculate the backside of the mesh. And so the way that I'm going to do that is grabbing the camera vector. Here's a little of the good life in world space. And we're going to grab the vertex normals in world space. And we're going to dot those. And then we're going to take the ceiling of those. Who I am. It's time for me to take a stand. And then we're just going to make sure it doesn't go below 0 or above 1. And the reason we want to do that is that we're going to use that inside of a lerp as the alpha. Doink. So what this is going to do is we're going to get color A, or whatever. We're going to use this in all kinds of things here. In fact, I'm going to need more than one lerp. And this is going to give us the ability to put one type of material on one side of the mesh and another kind of material on the other side of the mesh. And the reason I want to do this is that typically leaves are fairly dark and waxy on the upper side, and the underside they're lighter and less waxy. So I'm going to create two lerps because there are two attributes I want to change. So lerp here, this lerp, is going to be for the color. So we're going to put the color I painted, which is the outside of the leaf, into A. And let's see if we can do it this way. Color A, and you can see the backside is white. So what I'm going to do now is add a square root, which is going to brighten my color for me automatically. And I'm going to put that in B. So the leaf texture, which is over here, there's the leaf on the waxy side, and there's the leaf on the underside. Okay, so dark and light. The next thing I'm going to do is adjust the roughness. So again, the roughness that I've already got goes into the roughness here. And then I'm just going to invert this roughness by doing a 1 minus. And that'll give me shiny waxy leaf on the front, dull, brighter leaf on the back. So I'll save that. And this is not a crazy expensive material to do, but it does give me the ability of playing around with that kind of thing. So if I go back into my totems here and grab the plant, which I hadn't meant to drop, MA leaves. So I just want to make sure that I actually got them in the right order. And no, I've got them backwards. So it's got the lighter color on the outside and the brighter color on the darker color on the inside. So we're going to go swap those lerps. Plenteous leaves. And in fact, what I'm going to do is just 1 minus this, because I like the way it's set up. So I'm just going to invert my math. So we'll adjust that. Save it. And now we should have dark, glossy leaves on the outside. And then the brighter inside of the leaves on the other side. Okay, next. I hate the subsurface scattering. It's not doing what I want it to do. Let's kill this and put a scalar in the opacity. Yeah, it's not quite doing what I want it to do. Okay. So we'll just do it regular. All regular like. Yeah. There we go. Plenteous. Done. Now again, he's a little on the expensive side. He's not ideal in that he's using that many materials. But again, it's one totem, so I'm not too worried about it. I thought I decided I was going to put Plenteous over here somewhere. I think I'm going to put him here. I was kind of disappointed that there wasn't enough totems in this section. I've got 2 of them that I put a little too close together here. I'm going to put this guy here. Like that. And then, yeah, Plenteous can go there. So let's go look at the blueprint and find out where Plenteous is. He's down here somewhere. As I thought he was. Pardon me. There he is. 42. Well, that was the wrong one. This one. Okay, let's go test him out. Now, one of the other cool things about all these totems that I've done is that, doink. Oh, he's not placed correctly. Okay, so I'm going to have to re-import him again. Cool, Rich. Where'd you go? Inside you're ugly, ugly like me. I can see through you, see your true real you. Oh. I'm gonna do a. I gotta do a check. I'm getting a little bit of performance issues here that I would like to solve. Actually, I don't know that I'm going to keep him there. One here, one here, one here, one there. So the problem with 50 of these things is they start getting close together. Okay, here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him on the chair. But I'm on the outside. That actually puts him right in the house, right in the light. Cool, man. All right. And then there were two. Yeah, I'm getting like 19 frames a second in there. Now I'm running the game at 4K. I'm going to, I know you guys won't be able to see this, but I want to run it on my other monitor to see the difference between 4K and... Oh, yeah. Oh, my other monitor is way shittier. But yeah, no, I'm at 60 frames a second at 1080p. Good. Inside you're ugly, ugly like me. Okay. So I realized you guys couldn't see that test. But it worked well. Cool, man. That's cool. Okay, so this is LOD. This is a small prop. That's beautiful, man. I'm looking at the polygon count right here. So he's 8,488. And as I back up, right there, he already dropped. So that's 4,000. That's half his polygon count. That's 2,000. And there's 1,000. And so it does a really nice job on those. I gotta make sure the other totems I brought in are also doing this. Zagul. LOD group. This is a small prop. Just kind of the last few totems I brought in. Need to make sure that they're doing that as well. The mutant. So I finished the mutant prop yesterday. I didn't live stream this. Actually, all of you guys were gone. I was hanging out here by myself, and so I ended up doing the doing this totem while I wasn't live streaming. I still sat on my computer and worked away, but with no viewers, I ended up killing the live stream. So anyway, this is the mutant. I'm gonna Do this here as well. This one barely needs any LODing. It's only it's under 2,000 triangles, but I'm still gonna plug it in. It's also pretty small too. Okay, that leaves 2 single totems left, the Scarecrow and the Doctor. Time is it? 20 after 11. Let's see what I can do. I'm putting the Scarecrow off because I have a really good totem for it, and I know it's going to be time dependent. So let me go open the Doctor's bag. Max, Doctor. Come on, Max, catch up. Okay, let's close ZBrush. And nope, cure you. Done with the plant. I'm not saving any of my substance files because I don't give a damn. It takes so little time to texture things now that saving those files seems kind of pointless. So I'm going to see if I can achieve a better shape with this. Because there's some very specific folds that happen in these things that I'm trying to reproduce. The one that I did, like it feels too much like cotton. It doesn't look right. When you look at the actual folds that you get in these things, it's rigid leather. And so there's really just one pleat that happens. It just kind of bends in this area. And so that's what I kind of want to achieve, is reproduce that bend, that one kind of bent in shape. And if I can do that, then this thing will look good. Texturing guys already really know what I'm doing with this thing. It's just a matter of reproducing this. And so that's what I'm going to try and do, is reproduce this bend. Now, my goal was to do it with Marvelous Designer. But it's too cumbersome in there to actually do that. And so I'm going to delete this fabric, and I've got the handle here already built. And so I think what I'm going to do, let's see this. Front, nope, side. So I don't want this thing to be open. I think I'm going to kill the animation. And part of the reason for that, convert these to editable poly. I'm going to attach them together. Do a milk carton bent? I don't follow. For what, Rich? Hey. Come on. Y, 63. So let's bring this to 75. And this one a negative 75. The soul from Motown. Okay, I wanted to make it a little bit wider to match the proportions, so that's why I just did that. And I'm going to rotate this way. Hey. Okay, so geometry, I'm going to start this with the chamfer box. I saw your band jumping around on stage like a bunch of wounded ducks. When are you going to learn? You just can't fuck with. Around. Yeah, I think that's fine. Put this back here. American badass, watch me kick. So I'm going to concentrate on just one side of this. Oh, middle finger in the air. That's what I did wrong. Give the next generation a big fuck you. I forgot I had done this with a chamfer box. Doo-doo-doo. Right, it's this side. Okay. Let me see where you're at and say, hey, hey. Hey, hey. So I'm just going to do this so that I can track what side it is that I'm actually trying to model. Hey, hey. From front to back. Hey, hey. Okay, so this has to go down to here. So it looks like I might have made this too tall. Without love, can't get enough. I like it rough, 'cause I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all. Dump, dump. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. So this has got to come in. You're sick of feeling down. You're not the only one. Try to take by the hand. You can understand. I'm just trying to get enough reference of what the shape does. You will understand. Oh. Without love, I can't get enough. I like it rough, 'cause I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all. Without love, can't get enough. I like it rough, 'cause I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all. Anger and agony are better than misery. Trust me, I've got a plan. You will understand. Oh, without love. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm making, Rich. Rather feel pain than nothing at all. Without love, can't get enough. 'Cause I like it rough, and I'd rather feel pain than nothing. Okay, so this edge, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to delete half and only work on a quarter of this so that I don't lose my freaking mind. So this guy's got to go up. And this vert is going to come over. And that's got to be the rounded shape through there. Without love, I can't get enough. I like it rough, 'cause I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all. Oh, without love, I can't get enough. I like it rough, 'cause I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all. Without love, can't get enough. I like it rough, 'cause I'd rather feel pain than nothing. Okay. I know. So that's going to come in. And then it's just a matter of smoothing and rounding where the bends are. Let's do the quad chamfer. Okay. I'm pleased with that shape. I got some N-gons here. They're going to need cleaning. Actually, I'm going to undo the chamfer, and let's just continue it around here. Let's try the uniform again. That uniform just doesn't work for me. Okay, that's better. Okay, then search and seek and destroy. Then I need to turn this around. Let's isolate it again. Seek and destroy. Okay, let's do this. I don't actually want this polygon, but I need... Why can't I move that? Oh. Okay, so I don't actually want that polygon, but I need its edge. Let's keep that. I want a hinge from edge. Can I do that here? Search and seek and destroy. Okay, this has got to go over here. And now it's got the right shape. I didn't actually need this. Let's make sure I didn't make another one. It did not. So I can see I'm going to have to move the handle, but that's okay. I want to get this thing to line up correctly, and then I'll worry about that thing. So how many edges do I have to put in here? Just one. Like so. And I can target weld these up. To close that. Down. Okay, these two. 3. And come down. Down. And over. I think I'm going to bring this into ZBrush to clean it up. But I've essentially got the right shape here now. Okay, so let's bring this guy back. This rounded shape is supposed to fit this thing. And so let's do that. Let's move this over. Like there. And bring this down. And now it fits. And I need to put another edge in here. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. There we go. Search him, seek and destroy. Put another one of those in there. I can weld that together. I'm gonna put another one of these in here. Okay, so now we'll adjust the pivot. And a couple of symmetries later, and I'm happy. So I do want to add a little bit more topology to this. Those were wrong. I'm just gonna do that. I want to have enough topology here so that when I bring this into ZBrush, it doesn't just collapse on me. Know this place. 2. 2. Well, that's odd. But I couldn't change a thing. It's just a wicked dream. Look at the wake from the stardust falling from your eyes. You are perfect. It's so familiar. So again, I'm just going through and cleaning some of the topology here. Not that it matters. When I get a hold of ZBrush and get this into ZBrush, it will kind of sort itself out. Look at the wake from the stardust falling from your eyes. You are perfect in my mind. Okay. So this is the true test here. If I've done this correctly. You won't be left behind. Look at the wake from the stardust falling from your eyes. So the idea here, I'm just readjusting a few of the vertices so that they don't interpenetrate where they shouldn't. Again, ZBrush will sort this out for me kind of automatically. But the reason I want to do that is that I have polygons inside the object, inside the handle. And there actually shouldn't be. This is where this should actually, where the thing would open. And so I want to make sure that that's correct. Get that off. Now the true test of this, I'm just looking where the seams are. There's a seam right here. This one. But it should open really cleanly. It should unwrap really cleanly. With just that one edge. What is this? Wow. That was a beautiful song. I've never heard this before. It's gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to do just a planar map to kill all my seams. And I will add my new seam right there. And then we'll see what the relaxing can do. Now this should, I mean, in all reality, should give me two rectangles. Just not far from it. These two shapes should actually be perfect rectangles. That's not bad. Let's see what my polygon count is for this. I still got to put a handle on it. Let's do that now. Okay. In you. Okay, there. I'm not going to do this with this. I'm going to do this with a cylinder, actually tube. And that's fine. Okay, so let's kill... Oh, that's fine. Kill that. And bring this down to 12. Bring it down here. Jesus. Okay. So to make the handle for this, I'm going to make a couple of these brackets. Like so. That's just a piece of metal kind of with a ring through it. And then I'm going to put a ring through it. Tonight, my head is swimming. Someone to give me out. Nothing is working. I've had enough. Ugh. I break away. Away from everything. If you can't stand the way this place is. Whoa. I feel like a vampire. I just can't get enough. We're gonna light it up. So the idea is to make this thing thin enough. Nope. That it fits in the loop here with a little bit of room. This should be at 35. And I'm going to give it a little bit more thickness. Whoa, whoa. Do, 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 do. Wow, 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 do, 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 do. My heart is spinning. I need someone to wake me up. If you can't stand the way this place is, take yourself higher places. So I'm just going to increase the loop here a little bit. Just to give it a little bit more room. Whoa. 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 Okay. 1D ring. Copy. Negative 35. Puts it in the other place. And then the handle is just a leather bit that goes in between these two things. And then I should try and clean this up a little bit. I don't want any gaps there. Okay, so the handle is... What's the best way to do this? Let's try... geometry. And let's start with a cylinder. It's got to be longer because I'm going to bend it. Let's do that. I'm going to bring the thickness down. Yeah, about there. 32 is overkill. I'm going to go 24 with this. I just want to see kind of how the thickness of this is going to read. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Okay, let's bring it up. Editable poly, centered object. Let's use a little soft selection. We're going to scale that in and scale it down. Okay, so the only thing I have to do is now put the hole in it for this thing. So I'm going to do this with another cylinder. I'm going to bring this thing down to 12 sides. And get the height of this one. Make sure they're in the same place. And then we'll just go cut. There we go. Something like that. And if I grab that hole, I don't want to move it yet. Vertices. There's a little bit of a mismatch where some of these shapes are, so I'm just going to kind of force it into a better place. So there, and there, and the same thing here. I'm going to make it not a perfect circle, but it's also such a tiny detail that I don't think it matters. So this one, grab the X number of that, and we'll paste it here. Like so. And then I'm just going to connect that here to get rid of my n-gons. Whoops. Oh, the same thing here. I'm actually going to turn the music off. My headphones are killing my ears. I feel like I've been wearing them for months. Okay. Bring that in. And then this thing should actually be rounded around here. So if I go to my side view here again, and I'm going to turn on edge constraints, I'm just going to go and start moving kind of these vertices back. try and get a little bit closer to that shape. So there, that's nice and rounded. And then I'm going to need to connect them. Let's see, what's the best way of doing this? Let's get rid of this face. Yeah, I guess I'll just bridge. We'll see how that works. Okay, symmetry, flip. There we go. Okay, so then the last thing I gotta do with this is bend it. Before I do, I'm gonna add another row of edges in here. And I gotta do this in this view here. Make sure it's zeroed out. And we'll put the bend on it. And the idea is to bend it until the holes line up. Get rid of 2 inedible poly. And realistically, it wouldn't stay up like that. So what I'm going to do is rotate it. Effect pivot only. I'm going to move the pivot down to where the ring is. That should be fine. I'm going to rotate it this way. And put it here. Von Doctor's bag. No. Minus the high poly. Okay. So I'm going to save this. I'm not going to bother doing the high poly tonight. But I'm pleased that I got to this point that it looks like the thing I'm trying to make. And so, yeah. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and for hanging out. I'm kind of down to a totem and a half here. I've got the Scarecrow and the Doctor's bag, which is well underway. And then that'll be it. That'll be it for the totems. I may go back and... This one bothers me right now. It looks too much like a tombstone. Especially since I have a tombstone. And so I don't want 2 of these things. And they have the same texture. They have the same material on them. And so I'm not pleased with the ancient one. It's supposed to be a prayer stone. And I think I think what I'd rather do is a water smooth version of a prayer stone. And then that's it. I've got one more little system I've got to do. I've got to get the character in, animations finally in, and then that's it, man. That'll be the end of this thing. And so, not only is the ending in sight, but it's within reach. And so I am excited for that. And so Have yourselves a good weekend. Again, I'm going to be off here for the weekend, not streaming, not working away on anything. And so we'll catch you guys again on Monday night. And until then, have yourselves a good weekend.